Alrighty, gang. Okay, we are live. What's up, gang? I think, hopefully, let's make sure everything's Gucci and working before we just commit to balling. Alright. 2 director's commentaries at once. Can't wait to get this rocking and rolling. Gotta get the link shared out. You know the drill. You know the drill. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's good. It's been a couple of weeks since I did one of these. One of the things I wanted to start doing in the new year was committing to making sure I actually had a video out every single week instead of, like, you know, not having one out when I'm traveling and whatnot. I wanted to commit to doing the thing every week, even if I had to, like, kind of work a little harder on a certain day to make sure I got one out for Sunday. I wanted to get that out. And the same goes for director's commentaries, only it's going to be slightly different in that I want to, if I'm not able to make a director's commentary the week that a video comes out, like real time or whatever, I will do that same video's director's commentary with the next one. So like last week I wasn't able to do director's commentary that evening, so I'm doing that video's commentary with this video's commentary. So we're going to have 2 videos worth of director's commentary going on all at once. Hopefully that made some sense. I don't know. I'm going to post this in the Discord. Everyone, if you're here and you're not already, join the Discord. It's a great place to be, a great community. Everyone. Live. Gotta get that red dot, you know, red. But yeah, before we get cracking, anybody who's here in the chat, let me know how you're doing. Hope you're well. Hope everything is going great for you so far this new year. Really appreciate you being here. Live director's commentary. Tune in to get some behind the scenes action to my latest videos. Bang. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. Except that's the wrong thumbnail. What the heck? That's the wrong thumbnail, bro. What? YouTube, you're on crack, dude. Because that is clearly that is the wrong thumbnail. I don't know. YouTube's on crack. What can I say? I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I love you, YouTube. Okay, let's get a couple of these tabs out of here. I kind of am scrambling all at once. Bought a new camera battery this weekend, so I was like afraid that I lost it, and then realized that I didn't lose it, and a whole lot of stuff. So anyway, once again, hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are having a great day. Happy to be here. Happy you guys are here. Okay, yeah, on my end, the YouTube, it's not being stupid, so that's weird. Okay, get this going. Got some more people joining. Alrighty, get this thing going. Hope everybody's well. Oh, we got a couple people walking in here. What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing great. Hope you're doing dandy. I'm actually gonna do. No, I'm not. Just kidding. All right, so let's get cracking into this director's commentary, everybody. Get through the old director's chair. Okay, I'm just gonna be down here for a second. So we're gonna start off with my video from last week. We're gonna start with that one, and then we're gonna go to the one that came out just about 7 hours ago. So start with that one out. Whoa. Gonna start off with that one. This one actually, you guys did quite well. You guys quite liked it, so I'm happy for that. DMC Racing says, "Hey Gare, what's up, man? DMC Racing, welcome in, brother." Okay, gotta fix this. Gotta do some quick on-the-fly Discord or not Discord, but OBS maneuvering. Okay, we're good. Great, we're dandy. Okay, everything's Gucci. Everything's looking good. Theater mode was okay. I tried it last time. It's okay. It's mid. All right. So, without further ado, everybody, let's hop into part 1 of today's commentary. So now that it's almost 2024, I'm looking back. Let me know too if you can hear everything just fine. I'm actually gonna double check that real quick. Sorry about that. You know, I'm just gonna trust it. I'm gonna trust it. You know. Back and thinking, what have I even done this year? This was a fun shot. This is actually one I don't think I've actually gotten it before. I wanted to do something because I always do it from the perspective of when I'm shooting this B-roll and I'm walking or whatever. I always shoot it from the perspective of walking away from the camera. One thing I've thought about doing a little bit more, and if anything I've thought about subconsciously, but I want to do more where I'm walking towards the camera, so the camera is facing me, and I'm facing the camera, and I'm walking towards it. That way it kind of just changes it up, because I always feel like a lot of the shots I'm getting are walking away from the camera, and so I want to kind of break that up a little bit, keep it from getting boring. And plus, I've never used this shot before, so it looks cool. And it's also fun. It's always fun to have that, you know, the subject in this shot is actually out of focus. It's behind, you know, I'm like, the way I think of this shot is I'm kind of behind the tree looking, you know, I'm creeping, you know what I'm saying? And so I think it's just kind of a fun perspective to get, especially because the ZV-1, the focus is phenomenal. Speaking of the ZV-1, here it is, little guy. It's actually dead right now, hence buying the extra battery this weekend. But yeah, no, I like doing this, and I've done it a couple of other different ways where I have the subject matter actually in the background, so it's out of focus. It kind of just shakes it up a little bit. This is a shot. Okay, another pause. This is, if anything, I feel like I've overused this one throughout the last, you know, month and a half of videos with Vlogmas and everything. I feel like this is a particular shot that I've overused. But I think there's also a good reason. I overuse it for a reason, because I quite like it and how it looks and everything. Especially because it kind of gives you context into the weather. Because this one is rainy, and then the next one, I believe, for today's video, is actually got frost on it. So like, it's kind of neat. Gives you a little context to what's going on in the environment as of the setting of this video. That's if you really want to get detailed into it, though. Another great shot. I love this one where I can get the. I love any shot where I can get the building really not like nice and lined up and square and everything. That always makes it really, really cool. Because I don't know, it just feels so nice and pretty and perfect. You know what I'm saying? I just love it. Coffee montage. Everybody always comments on the coffee montages. That's why.
So last year about this time, I made.
I was gonna say something. No, it was the. No, never mind. But yeah, everybody really likes the. At least a lot of people enjoy the coffee montages. I don't like to make them too long because it's a lot more of a process than what I show. It's just, this is the basic. You know, grind the beans, make the coffee. You know, there's a lot more that actually goes on to that behind the scenes, but I just don't show it because it would make the montage super long, which obviously isn't always favorable, but.
So last year about this time, I made a video about my New Year's resolution. And in that video...
Bro, I cannot believe 2023 is already over. Like, it's kind of wild. Although, I was thinking something earlier today how it already does feel like 2024, at least in my opinion, and, like, from my perspective. But 2023 felt like it flew by. It's crazy. Because I remember 2020 was, like, the longest year in history, right? But it's crazy how it's kind of flipped. Also, that's a really good book, by the way.
My New Year's resolution
highly recommend
was to not have a New Year's resolution, but instead to focus on building up a lot of small wins throughout the year.
Small wins.
So now that it's almost 2024, I'm looking back and thinking, what have I even done this year?
Nah, that's actually real because, I mean, obviously it's real. I put it in a video, but it's funny looking back because you kind of, unless you like when having. Sorry, let me start over. It was tough coming up with what I had done this year, and had I not had this backlog of videos that I made throughout the year, had I not had that, it would have been a lot harder to remember because I was just looking back and trying to figure it out. But because I have this backlog of videos, it's really easy because I've documented most of my year, right? Chloe says lesson planning with GTB, hey, best way to do it. Especially because, at least to my understanding, it's kind of a chore to lesson plan. But hey, glad you could join us. Look at those. Both the people, DMC Racing and Chloe, both have membership badges. That's so cool. Oh, it's so awesome. Oh, got distracted. Dude, I'm telling you, the analytics distract me heavy. But no, it's so helpful and it's so handy. One of the best things about doing this is that I have documentation of things that I've done in the past, so I can easily look back and be like, wow, that was a time. That's what I did that this year? That was one of the things. I was looking back, and one of the things I was realizing was it was a lot. That was happening a lot where I was like, what? I did that this year? What? Like, it was so weird to me. But again, I just did a lot this year. Did a lot more than I thought it did. Which is kind of a theme of this video, but this is the New Year's Eve special, by the way. Fun fact. Oh, this is the beauty of director's commentaries, because these are the things that I do and I'm never able to tell anybody. Evan, what's up, man? You just came just in time for the thing I'm about to tell you. So one of the beauties of doing these commentaries is, so this shot right here, okay? I don't know what time it was, but it cuts from here to this. Between this shot in real life, between this shot and that last shot of me walking, it's probably an hour of time, because I was walking in this shot of walking. I'm actually walking to the house to eat lunch, and then cut. I've eaten lunch, and now I'm going to shoot again. But from the viewer's perspective, you're like, well, he's walking, okay. And then we get a closer crop of boom. Like that, you know. So these are that shot and the shot before about an hour and a half apart or so. Chris, what's up, man? Welcome in. Love how you kind of bring back the Casey style of vlogging, but in your own way, super clean shots. Thank you, dude. I really appreciate that. Casey's a big inspiration for sure. But I've always like really been inspired, or at least since I've started really committing to vlogging, been inspired by his stuff. But also I've been trying to figure out how to do it my own way. And I'm glad that people are sort of seeing that, because I'm still personally having trouble as far as not seeing the Casey Neistat in my stuff. But I guess just the more I do it and the more I sort of add and implement things, it'll feel more like mine. But I'm glad people are noticing it, like the audience. I'm glad the audience is noticing it for sure. That really does mean a lot. But again, look at this. Another one of those, like I was talking about earlier, where the subject matter is out of focus. It's in the background. Like I'm hiding behind a tree trying to sneak around and see what's going on, you know. You're kind of watching from the bushes, if you will. This shot is always so fun with the picnic table. I can just line it up nicely. It's so fun.
So starting a new year can be kind of overwhelming.
Fun fact, peekaboo, little Easter egg over here. I'm shooting a time lapse with the GoPro. I don't know if I ended up using this time lapse in this video, but you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, just above my little box, there's the GoPro set up on the picnic table, shooting a time lapse. That was I recall shooting this. This was on, I shot this, I think it was like the 29th or the 30th or something. But I recall shooting this. It was a beautiful, beautiful day for clouds and stuff. I think it was pretty chilly. I think it was like in the mid-upper 30s Fahrenheit. But the clouds were phenomenal. So time-lapse shooting was pristine quality that day.
And just a lot. I think that's got a lot to do with like the expectation that society has, where like you have to set a new resolution every year and like accomplish.
One of the things I enjoyed about this video was kind of being able to get back to that overhead B-roll on the paper shot, which I need to get a new notebook for that because mine is full. But I was able to get back to that and sort of allow myself more time to do that, because with Vlogmas, one of the things that was like, it was great. It was one of those blessing and a curse situations where I was able to crank out a bunch of videos, which I love doing, but also I didn't have the time to really do detailed stuff that I wanted to do, like really put some guts into the video. So like I sacrificed on that overhead drawing artsy type of B-roll. I sacrificed that for the quantity. So like I'm glad to get back to that type of stuff where I can put a little bit more time into it. I had to make a whole video or talk about it somehow with the whole process of like the edit and how I go back and forth and back and forth. It's a whole thing. But anyway, let's continue.
This big goal every year.
Big goal.
To me, that feels unrealistic. And so that's why when it comes to New Year's resolutions, I've never really been one to participate or to partake. Like, I understand the intent.
Let's think about this, dude. 4 years ago, it was 2020. Isn't that crazy?
Of it, but personally, I've just never really been one to do that kind of thing. Because like I said in last year's video, instead of doing a resolution, I wanted to set some small goals. Boom. Or not even set goals,
I want to get back into running. Running was fun.
Do small things, accumulate small wins, and that was my intention. That was my, quote, resolution.
So, Evan, if you're still here, I know you use the Rode Video Micro. One of the things about the Rode Video Micro that I love so much is that when it records audio outdoors, it's really, really nice. Like, I have a beautiful time shooting audio with it outside. And also, I live in the woods, so there's not nearly as much noise pollution as there would be like if you lived in the middle of town or like a city or something. But having that where you can kind of still hear the ambience of being outside, but also you get a clear, crisp audio, like that is so good to me. So if anyone out there uses the Video Micro, let me know what your experience is with it. I actually have it right here. Yeah, dude, it's great. I have it right here. Fun fact, I was doing that video I was talking about. I quit YouTube Shorts, and I made that video where I set the paper on fire. It actually singed the dead cat on my microphone. If you can't tell on this, but there's like the ends of some of the fuzz on the front is kind of frayed because it was on fire for a second. So I realized I was like, whoa, shit. So I had to like put out the microphone just for a split second, and then it was a thing. Behind the camera, it was kind of chaotic for that shot, but this is one of those too. The ZV-1, I'm starting to shoot like not time lapses, but I'm starting to just kind of like get some standalone B-roll, and then be able to speed it up because I shoot at lower frame rate. And it actually has been working really well for me, especially this day where the clouds were moving fast enough anyway. But look at that. Oh yeah, gorgeous.
So,
the woods.
So my question from earlier, what have I even done this year? Did I accomplish what I wanted to accomplish at the start of this year or at the end of last year? What have I done?
I found myself really gravitating when I do a lot of these shots. You'll notice like that. It's playing back, but you'll notice a lot of the shots that I get are where if there's like a door or if I'm looking down a hallway, it's kind of got that vanishing point where the center of the screen is really small. I could probably go back to it. Let's see here. And then this one, where there's a clear direction of the lines to where they all point. Your eye is directed to the center, right? And that's where I'm coming in at. That's the subject. That's where the subject is. But you can see it's the camera set up at the center of the hallway, sort of further back. So all the blinds point right to that center. That's a shot I've really gravitated towards lately, and I really have kind of seeked out because I just love how it looks and how it sort of aids in the viewing experience. And two, let's see here. Chris says, what's the main camera you use? I probably would say I use this like 85% of the time. The Sony ZV-1 is just a little point and shoot. It's like I don't know what you'd compare it to, but it's beautiful 4K. You know, it can shoot up to. It has a slow-mo feature on it, so that can shoot like super high frame rate. But I always shoot on it 4K, 24 frames per second. I try to keep all my cameras, being this one, my phone, and the GoPro, 4K 24, just because that way it can kind of have some continuity to it. But no, this is just. I mean, it's really not much to it. It's just pretty much a camera, no detachable lens. You can have a mic attached to it. I mean, it's pretty basic. It's point and shoot. Pretty nice though. It's a really good camera. I love it. That's one of the things. As far as like gear is concerned, I like how, like I know Evan talks about this a lot, where he'll be like talking about how people review like the specs and stuff. Like I have no clue about specs. I'm very spec illiterate, but I can tell you this makes a pretty picture. So it's worth it in my opinion. So do you use any shotgun mics or lav mics? I do use the Rode Video Micro. I don't know if it's technically, I guess it is a shotgun mic technically, but I always imagine a shotgun mic like being highly directional, but this one is sort of omnidirectional to where it does capture right in front, but it also captures like sort of an ambience around it, but it is predominantly directional. But no, I guess you'd call it a shotgun mic, but no, Video Micro is what I use. Very good, and it's nice because you don't have to have batteries. It just literally hooks up to your camera and it works, which is the best thing about it in my opinion, is you don't need batteries because it's one thing you got to worry about being charged. Yeah, I use that, the ZV-1, the Video Micro, and then the GorillaPod 3K Pro is my little handle or dealie. I know a lot of people are like into other types of things, but I started with the GorillaPod or something like a GorillaPod, so I just kind of have kept with it for as long as I can remember. We had that really cheap one at start, like that had something very similar that they used to sell at Walmart. Very cheap, but it worked nicely, so I used that for the start, and then I upgraded to the GorillaPod later on down the line. Chris says, I think I'm going to snag the Rode as well. Been shooting and getting audio just straight out of my Sony ZV-E10 and definitely up the audio quality. Now, I recommend, because it's like, I mean, as far as camera gear goes, the Video Micro is only like $90, which is relatively inexpensive for camera gear. I will say, it's obviously go for it if you want, but the Sony stuff, it has a pretty good onboard mic. Like the ZV-1, I bought it to improve my audio quality because I was shooting on my phone, and the video is the same. Essentially, it's got same specs, 4K, whatnot. But the real reason I was upgrading was to get a better audio quality, And I knew that even the onboard was better than my phone, but with the mountable external mic, I could do it even better. So really the Sony by itself is good, but obviously the Rode, you have that extra. I mean, it's always better no matter what. So it's, for camera gear, it's inexpensive, so I wouldn't turn anybody away from it for sure. But, obviously you work with what you have at first, and then you can upgrade as you go. So this one also was a GoPro time-lapse. I remember this one. I forgot that I was shooting with it, so I shot this time-lapse for like 20 minutes in real life. It's crazy. But again, I like to have sort of a, I don't know, it's starting to become sort of a thing that I just kind of instinctively go to, where I have, like on the left third or the right third, whichever, I have sort of a, I wouldn't call it a mat, but it's like something that sort of blocks, kind of directs your attention to, I guess, the center. Just because that's usually where I line things up. Is usually my subject matter is either the center or like slightly off center, but basically in the center.
So in order to find out what I've actually done this year, I went back.
Also, another thing I was thinking about while I was editing this footage, having the tripod in the background, I don't know about anyone else if anybody noticed it, but I kind of thought it looked cool in the background. Like just having it there, just to kind of be environment. I guess I don't even know what I would say, but I just thought it was neat looking to have the tripod just chilling in the background like that. That was just a thing that I noticed.
And I scrolled through my old videos.
This is the thing that too. This where I draw the square on the paper. This is something that people have commented on a lot, and they actually really like it. I stole this, by the way. This is not my original creation. I stole that from Van Neistat. He did that in a different video of his where he was having multiple examples of different videos on the screen all at once. But just stole it, used it for my own personal gain. I don't even know, but I really like it because it kind of like you can have B-roll of whatever I'm talking about on the screen, but that, I mean, it's just one of those things. You're gonna add a little extra layer of cool to it, Hence the black rectangle, and it's actually, I did some measuring to make sure the dimensions were correct. So 16:9 aspect ratio. So I did the math and made sure my square measured up, or my rectangle measured up. So I did like however many centimeters by however many centimeters, made it to where it fit that 16:9 aspect ratio, and then put it on there. That way, like you can see the edges are kind of off a little bit, but it's only a couple seconds long of a clip, so it's gone like that. So it's like you just kind of go good enough, and then before you know it, it's gone, and you don't even realize it.
January 1st of 2023. So
Boom.
this year, I read
Pocket
2 books, bought new gear,
This was a fun one to
watched
shoot.
Star Wars, I ran a decent amount, expressed gratitude, tried something new with the Pocket Notebook, brought the podcast back, made tough decisions in switching to weekly videos as opposed to 4 a week, made money with my passions, made some memories, a lot of memories actually. Good year for that. I made my very best. I made my very best again. I broke my own records. I customized, I relaxed, I experimented, and I quit.
See, that was a shot I was telling you with the papers on fire. That was a shot where I lit my microphone on fire. It's pretty cool. But also, I'm just gonna let this play through and then we'll talk about it.
I customized, I relaxed, I experimented, and I
Star
quit.
Trails, not Star Trails.
I resolved plenty of conflicts.
Light painting.
I found my thing, and I became a YouTube partner. The channel has recently...
Okay, so that whole, however long it was, like a minute, like 50 seconds, just talking about what I've done this year, that was such a fun thing to get footage for, and just a fun thing to sort of write. This whole video was really fun one to write because, again, I had to go back and do a little bit of research on the channel as far as what I actually went and did this year. And looking back and finding all that stuff really made me feel good because, you look back and you're like, what did I do this year? And making the video about it and almost being forced, for lack of a better term, being forced to go back and relive some of that stuff that I went through this year, and most of it good, right? But going back and reflecting on that really just was it was a great opportunity to kind of, go back and look at it. Because when you get so far into the year and you're just grind, you don't really take a step back and reflect on what happened, right? But doing this and having this video with the intention of reflection, that was a really good thing. And I'm grateful that I made this video because it was really fun to look back and remember all the things that went down. Like, I didn't realize, like, just the one I'm hovering over, starting a Patreon, I didn't realize I did that this year. Like, that's crazy. But you get so far into it and you get so heavy into the grind, you kind of forget some stuff that you do. So it's nice to go back and reflect. And, of course, getting into the partner program, one of the best moments of the year. Definitely one of the best. There's a lot of bests, but that's one of them. And that was in October, too. That's already 3 months ago. Jesus. Been accepted into the YouTube partner program. And for that, I'm beyond grateful. And I just ripped that right out of the old video, too, because this is, because in the past montage of what I had done this year, I had to break it up because I was talking, voiceover. In the edit, I wanted to kind of snap that pattern interrupt, what they say is, where I'll kind of be doing something and then I'll break it off and do something else. But I wanted to do that where it's instead of, this is kind of like a replay of that video instead of a voiceover of just talking about it, right? I'm kind of taking you back into the time machine. I celebrate that. After that, I rested, I recharged, and I vlogged. And then I vlogged again. Go. And then I vlogged again. And then I vlogged again. Again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. This was a fun little edit to make. That edit was a tricky one. It wasn't like tricky in it wasn't really tricky in execution. It was more so in finding the right sound effect and sort of making it the way I wanted it to go. Because I knew I wanted to sort of have a build. I can take you to the timeline if you want to see it. Let's go to the timeline. Un momento. We're gonna go to the timeline so I can show you how that actually looks. So this is gonna be some serious behind the scenes action. What did I do this year? Timeline. We're gonna check out that because it's a pretty simple edit in itself, but it was kind of one of those that took a little while just to kind of get it exactly the way I wanted it to be. It's a matter of finding the sound effect that worked and making it to where it timed out just right. Because that was the trick, was making sure I found the sound effect that was not only sounded right, but was good in duration. So here we have this, it's called Suck Reverse. Hold on, let me pull up the old, un momento, por favor. Wait a minute. There it is. Okay, so we have this where it's like, I did this, and then I vlogged, and I vlogged again, and I vlogged again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. So we have that where it cuts, and it's like boom, 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 boom. And then we have each of the title screens, boom, 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 boom. Have that sped up, obviously, or else it would take forever. But I have this where I had it build up, and then it broke off at the very end, and then a new song started. And that was what I wanted to use. I wanted to use that sequence of Vlogmas as a transition to, I guess, the next act or the next part of the video. So this is what it would look like in the timeline. And I vlogged again, and then I vlogged again. And see, right here at the last I vlogged again, that original song stopped. And then I vlogged again. And so make sure you, like, once that music cuts, you're kind of like, it's a cue to focus in on what you're watching. And then, of course, that sound effect starts to build and speeds up a little bit. It can be hard. And so then that new music starts, we kind of get a different vibe, and then we switch into the next scene. So that was a fun little edit to make, as painful as it was. It's kind of a pain in the neck, but it was definitely a fun one to do and to execute. Had a good time with it. It can be hard to look back and acknowledge exactly what you've done over the past year. Like, I know for me, I had trouble just thinking about it without looking back, because, when you think about what you've done, you don't necessarily default to thinking about the small things. I think especially with the new year, we are conditioned to focus on the big things. Oh, this was a fun little edit, too. I forgot about this one. So what I did, get back to the start of it. Conditioned to. So what I did with this one is I kind of highlighted, I did that on the sticky note, right, where I drew the big thing and had the circle around it and whatnot. But I highlighted it and did the blur effect, but I made it to where it blurred the background instead of what I had selected. And so whenever I'm talking about focusing on the big thing, as this shot starts to zoom in a little bit, not only does it zoom in, but the background comes out of focus to where the only thing that's really in focus is the big thing. And that kind of drives home the point of what I was saying of only focusing on one big thing.
Focus on
So,
the big
yeah, you can see it
thing
progressively
that we've
gets
done,
more
right?
blurry
The
in the
big
background.
goal or the big achievement or the big job or whatever. But oftentimes, only focusing on that one big goal without first focusing on the process or the smaller goals to get to that goal, you'll oftentimes find yourself
The
left
small
disappointed
wins.
because
I got these new sticky notes from Maddie's parents for Christmas, and from Maddie too. But there's like a bunch of super bright, super vibrant colors that are really cool to make in videos. So I'm excited to get more use out of them because they're so cool. Love me some good sticky notes.
you're not acknowledging those small wins, you're just acknowledging that you didn't get to the big goal. Even though you might have made all the progress in the world, you didn't get there. And that sucks. And so that's what you focus on. So my point with this video is to bring light and bring acknowledgement
Ring light.
to
Got the ring light up there. Boom.
the small wins. Not having a New Year's resolution or a big goal or whatever, but focusing on the process, focusing on the small wins to get you to that point. And just doing the thing every single day, whatever it is, towards that goal and enjoying the doing of the thing. I made a list of all of the small things that I've accomplished this
was a
year.
cool one,
Some
too.
are bigger than others.
When I went through, I rewrote that, or at least I started to rewrite the list for the video to, I guess, drive home the point of this is what I did. And as I write it down, you start to realize that there's more and more and more that you do throughout the year. That was how doing this visual in the video was how it sort of came to be in my brain, where when I started looking back at what I had done, as I kind of kept going, I was realizing that there was more and more and more that I was doing. So I was actually doing quite a bit of stuff, but just in looking back, I didn't really realize that. I had to really dig a little deeper to find that.
Some are way bigger than the others. Some are way smaller than others. But I made a list of all of them. All of the things that nobody would really recognize. Things that don't really get a lot of credit throughout the year. And after writing this list out of all of these small things that I've done, number one, I feel a sense of pride and I feel a sense of gratitude for the year past and all the things that I've been able to accomplish during this year. And not only that, but it becomes abundantly clear to me the big theme.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the big thing.
Had to get another animation in there. That one was really fun. I liked doing that. It was nice and quick. Like, it was quick to animate. 'Cause sometimes the animations take forever to do because it's like so meticulous. You gotta do a frame by frame by frame by frame by frame. But this one, it was kind of meant to go a little quicker, so I had to do fewer frames, which was cool. I'm gonna go watch it again because I liked it. But one of my favorite things to watch is, it's very particular, but I really, really like it, and I want you to pay attention to this. So how the letters come down, and then the sticky note that says theme comes up, and it bounces and it hits the letters. And the letters go up in a response to the sticky note hitting it, and then it comes down and they kind of like bounce out. So check it out again. It's just a super tiny, like a matter of 3 frames, the detail, but I just love it so much. I think it makes the whole animation kind of come together.
Abundantly clear to me the big theme and the
Where like the sticky note kind of, the letters come down like this, it goes up, and then it comes down. Like, it's just, something about it's just so smooth. I'm gonna watch it again.
only that, but it becomes abundantly clear to me the big theme and the big thing that I did do this year.
Got a montage, bang! This was so fun to make this montage because it's just clips from a lot of the videos that I was talking about earlier, where each thing that I did, I had a little clip over of that video from the previous year. And this was such a fun montage to do because like, this video actually got me a little bit emotional because I was looking back and I'm like, man, it's one of those things you don't realize. Like I said, I've been saying this the whole time. It's like you don't realize what you've done and how much you do until you get to the end and you look back, right? And especially, I think the music, I think I hit well on using this particular track because it kind of like built up and you have that climactic feel to it, and we're about to hit where the whole thing sort of wraps in together and you figure out sort of what the whole thing's about.
When I look at my videos now versus at the start of the year, at the start of 2023, this is what I've done. I improved. When
Notice how the music changed there? We went from super climactic, like build up, like super excited, to record scratch. That's a very obvious way to like transition from different feels, but I think it's cool. I don't know. but we had the higher beats per minute, and then all of a sudden scratch.
Look at my videos now,
and then
versus
we
at
had
the
to come
start
down,
of the year, at the start of 2023.
This is more chill, personal vibe.
When I was watching,
and then right then I'm like, what I've done this year is this. This is what I did this year. I improved, and that was sort of the big theme that came out of everything. All this talking beforehand built up to this moment right here, and it all contributed to the idea that throughout the year, the biggest thing that I've done on YouTube is improve my skills. I've improved in what I'm doing. So the rest of the video is sort of the what's next, the following action, the just kind of going back on it and stuff, and just kind of like reiterating that point and elaborating on what it is I actually did.
Back my New Year's resolution video from the start of this year, the start of 2023, I'm gonna be honest, I had a hard time watching it. You could tell I was trying to kind of keep the video structured, but I think the execution just wasn't quite there. Not only that, but I was very, very early in the process of learning not only how to tell stories through these videos, but how I tell stories. But looking back at that, I don't blame that version of myself at all. I'm not hard on that person, or I don't think, wow, that sucked really bad. Like, I think it's healthier to...
I think throughout this video, and I think really just as of late, one thing I've improved on is the music usage, like how I can deliver that feeling in each scene. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think if that's one of the things you think I've gotten better at. But I think that's one of the things I've gotten better at is, not using the same song the whole video, because it doesn't necessarily work, but breaking it up and using different sections of different songs to kind of get a particular feeling across based on what it's supposed to be, like what I'm intending it to be as the creator of the thing.
Instead of looking back and thinking, wow, that was terrible, think, if that guy, if Garrett from 2023 in January could see where Garrett in December of 2023 is at, if he could see where I'm at now, he'd be really freaking proud. And he would think, if that's me in the future, I just gotta keep doing what I'm doing. Keep learning, keep trying new things, and just keep seeking to improve every time out. Every time I make a new video, seek to make it better. As of this video coming out, the new year starts tomorrow. I don't have a New Year's resolution.
That's the thing. I think I personally not given myself enough credit throughout the year, but like I was looking back, one of the reasons I used this particular footage, this stuff right here, one reason I used this footage in particular was one of my big struggles at the start of the year and back in time. One of the biggest struggles I faced was telling stories and learning storytelling and stuff, and how to do it not only just in general, but how to do it with these videos. And that was one of my biggest things at the start of the year that I struggle with. But nowadays, at this point, at the start of the new year, a year from this shot, one of the things that I consider to be a strength, maybe not my number one strength, but it's one of those things that I've come to consider as one of my creative upsides, like one of my creative advantages, is my storytelling. Like, I feel as though I've gotten so much better at it from the start to where I can consider it to be one of my strengths. And that's something that I'm grateful for, because I've put in, and it wasn't obvious to me at first, but this whole, like at least the first half, the first quarter of the year maybe, like, I struggled and I worked really, really hard at getting better at that particular part of making videos. I was getting better. I was consciously really, really trying to get better at the storytelling element of it. And I think a lot of that helped. That was writing, and leaning into that writing, doing more of that for the videos. I think that helped a lot. Helped me to sort of organize my thoughts and sort of get them into a structure. Reading helped a lot, and just practicing it. Again, to anyone out there who is new to making videos or whatever, the number one thing you can do is practice. And this isn't just for videos, but it's for everything. If you want to get better at something, you practice it. It's that simple.
Resolution. Again, I don't have one, but I do have some goals. Some, again, are bigger than others. Some are smaller than others. But here they are. So at some point in the new year, I want to achieve these things. I want to achieve full YouTube monetization, meaning I have 4,000 hours of watch time and I'm able to get paid for the views that I get on the channel. I want to achieve regularly getting 1,000 plus views on videos. Maybe that's, one video every month that hits it. Maybe that's every video that hits it. I just want to do it more than I did it last year. I would like to get another video to hit at least 10,000 views. I would like to get a full year of weekly uploads under my belt. Because last year I started in April, so I didn't get the full year worth. But this year I want to start it in January and go as often as I can every week. I also want to write more this year. I've done a ton.
This is one, the write more. That's one I've already done. 100%. I've already written more than I have last year. Let's see here. So it took me, the last one of this notebook, it took me 3 months to fill up. And I'm almost exactly halfway through it. And it's only been, it's just now hit a month. So I'll probably get it, I don't know, another month and a half or so maybe. Couldn't tell you. But the point is, I have written noticeably more already this year than I have last year, as far as on average.
Ton of writing.
So that's good. That's a dub.
Like in these pocket notebooks. But I want to think, I've been doing, with these particular notebooks, I've been taking about 3 months to fill them up. I would like to do more writing to where I fill them up maybe every month or two. And I would like to get a video to hit 100,000 views. So these are just a few of the goals that I have this year. I'm sure there'll be more that come up throughout the year, more short-term type of goals, but I think this year is going to be a really big year. And I say that every year, but every year has been really big. I've done a lot every year in the last several years. So this year, I want to be even more, even bigger. But number one overall, I want to maintain not only consistency, but getting better consistently.
Yes.
It's
one of my number one goals, really always, but especially in the coming year or whatever. I want to, and I feel like I've done this already in a way, and the last few months too, where I've gotten better with every video I've posted. Maybe not as much Vlogmas, but honestly, Vlogmas was a really good, get the reps in. But now that I'm going back to weekly videos, I want to definitely make it a conscious effort to get better at something every single week. Every video, get better at one thing at least, because that will, over the course of the year, will build up to being a lot better than I was when I started. And I've gotten better a lot this year, last year, the year before. Like, every year I get better at stuff, but I want to make sure I'm actively, consciously improving and seeking to improve all the time.
Every week, besting myself in some way, shape, or form. And making my 5th year on YouTube.
That's crazy.
My best.
That's crazy. Shout out to the patrons! Woo! Now, this is the point of the commentary, where on a normal day we'd be done, but now that we have 2 videos to rewatch, that's what we're doing. So we're going to click through right here. Recommendation station. The first vlog of 2024. Let's see the comments. How's everybody commenting? Oh yeah, comments. Love the comments, dude. Thank you to everyone who comments. Shout out to the commenters. Legends. All right. So, the first vlog of 2024, it's not super like, this is my plan for 2024, first vlog of 2024. It's not what you'd think when you see first vlog of 2024, but it is good. I enjoyed this one. And it kind of worked out. It's 8 minutes and 1 second, so when I monetize, it'll be able to get mid-rolls. That was just a coincidence, honestly. But actually, look at this. You see this? This is, again, this shot is only up for a second or two. But first vlog of 2024. I don't know what to shoot, but that's it. That's what the vlog. Like, you see the notes I took to make this particular video happen. So pretty neat stuff. Pretty neat stuff. And this is actually one of the last things that I shot for this video because I wanted to get something that was like popping up on a screen very early. So all of this that I wrote on the left page was written many hours before that this video came out or was shot.
When you don't know what to shoot, just shoot something.
Bang. This shot, we brought it back from Vlogmas. Epic. This is actually, fun fact, this is shot a decent length away from the door. It's probably, I don't know, the edge of the porch there. I don't know, maybe 20, let me see here, probably 30 feet, at least 30 feet away. Approximately, I couldn't tell you. No, it's more than that, but ooh, look at this bad boy. Fun fact, so about a week ago, actually, yeah, it was exactly a week ago. Actually, I think it was a week ago today. I hit a deer, and it busted up my right turn signal on my front of my car, and like, you know, busted up some stuff and ripped that light right out. So had to get that replaced. That was fun. So yeah, that's the whole thing. So if you really sit there and pay attention, you can tell it's just kind of mangled a little bit. It's all good. Everything's good. Light still works. Car still works. We're good. This was the one I mentioned this early on. Hold on. I mentioned this early on where the shot of my rear view mirror on the left side, I felt as though I'd overused it, but also it helps because you can kind of get some context into your setting of the video, in that it shows the weather. Oops. So like, ooh, that was a little exhaust or whatever. Yeah, see, like the last one I did of this exact shot was rainy. It was water droplets, but now you can see it's frosty. So you can tell it's a bit colder. So that gives you context into a lot of the parts of the video, like I'm bundled up and stuff. This is one of those really small details that tells a story. It says, yep, it's cold outside, just in case you didn't know. And then you see the water droplets. This was fun, because I knew I was focusing on the water droplets, but I stayed on that shot and intentionally did it that way anyway. Because it's like one of those things, you know, whenever you're little and you're driving or you're riding in the back of the car or whatever, and you're leaned up against the window and you're just, your water droplets are racing. Anybody know if anybody's done that, let me know. But you have two water droplets on the top of the window and they're racing. You watch them, see who wins as they go down. That's kind of what this reminds me of. And also, it's just one of those things. That is a really deep level of, like, you could probably relate to this shot. You know, I don't know. Maybe that's just like one of those things that makes the audience think. Maybe I'm thinking too much about it. Maybe it's beautiful. Who knows? This video also, sorry to pause again. This video also, I have another comment. This video also is, actually, I think the first minute, almost the entire first minute is just montage. It's just B-roll. Another thing, too, I was mentioning earlier how I like to do that vanishing point shot where I have all the lines direct you to the middle of the screen, like where to look. This is no exception. So you have the line of Mom's car here. This is my car. Boom, boom. They all direct you to the center. What's going to happen in the center? Get out of the car. Boom. So it just aids in the viewing process. Same here. Same here. Boom, you have that line. You have this line where it all points to the center. Image composition, gang. Also, the overhead with the cutting mat is probably one of my favorite things in the vlogs as of late, because it's something about having that grid where everything is just perfect and nice and pretty. So satisfying to look at. Also, it helps me actually to line up the shot, the overhead shot. And if you notice, on the very top and the very bottom, I have a little hash mark that I did with paint pen. That tells me that is the middle, that is the center of the cutting mat. So that way, if I have to line up a shot and center it or whatever, I can use those lines to assist in getting that shot set up. Right, the old notebook. First vlog of 2024. That's another thing, too. That I mentioned how almost the whole first minute of this video was just B-roll and montage, but I think having that handwritten or like text on screen or whatever, that I think aids in not needing any audio or any vocal or any dialogue, I should say, because this shot of first vlog of 2024, ... Like I'm starting to write something, and again, maybe this is just me going too deep into it. Maybe this is me reading too much into it, but it's also my own video, so whatever. But that is the start. That signals to me that's the beginning of the thing. That the empty canvas, which is the pocket notebook, that is the beginning of it, and hence this is the beginning of the story. And this was also kind of an experiment, too, in having that longer beginning sort of montage. Just kind of, I'm just testing it out, seeing how it worked. How people respond to it.
This is the first vlog of 2024.
Want to see something funny? Fun fact? Notice my hair in this video? In this shot? It's up. And
This is the
this
first
one, I let it down in the back. Just a little detail.
vlog of 2024, and I don't know what to shoot.
Don't know what to shoot. Conflict, bang. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. And now we've
One of my
established
goals.
I don't know what to shoot. And begin. Like I said, that text, I didn't have to say it. I didn't even have to say it. I probably could have cut that out. But I have that text that says this is the first vlog of 2024, and obviously you have the title, but whatever. And I'm like, okay, this is the first vlog of 2024. Conflict being, what am I gonna shoot? Don't know what to shoot.
Goals for the new year was to post weekly as often as I can. What I mean by that is, last year whenever I would do weekly, I would miss some weeks because I would be traveling or whatever. But this year I want to try my best to do every week. No matter what, find time to make a video every week. Now some weeks, like this week, I won't have that much time, I won't have as much time to make a video as I would on a week that I'm not traveling. So one of the struggles of doing that is coming up with something to film.
This is a shot too. I haven't really used a whole bunch, but I would like to get back to it where I have the GorillaPod in the backseat of my car, and I like, at the start, like it cuts, and then I turn back. I turn back and I look at the camera, so it's like you're sitting in the back seat, and I'm like leaning back to talk to you. It's like getting personal, right? That's kind of the intention of that.
With limited time.
Also, you could barely hear it, but in this last shot,
With limited time.
right here, I noticed that the gas price went down, so I say it audibly, but I left the audio in there, just kind of loaded a little bit, just to kind of have that background. So, dang, it's 2:44 now. Sheesh. That was a fun little shot. I like getting that every now and again. That's just hold the camera sort of down there toward the floor. Nothing crazy. That was one of those shots. I don't know if anyone else can relate to this, but that was one of those shots where I didn't have access to look at the viewfinder, so I couldn't tell if it was lined up or if it even looked okay or whatever. That was just one of those, stuck the camera down there, hope for the best, and if it comes out good, good. If it comes out crap, just toss it. Don't even care. It was very low stakes shooting. So another fun shot I don't usually get is had the range pod set up on the back of the car, shooting over the top. So it's like you can kind of see what was it's like I'm coming from the car.
There's a lot of small creators, such as myself, that want to be more consistent in the new year, and hopefully this video can help those of us on our journey to doing so.
Oh yeah, look at the light.
So I'm working at 4 o'clock today, and it's currently 10:30. So I've got plenty of time to shoot a vlog and then edit a vlog. The problem in this is I'm having trouble figuring out what the vlog is about. But then again, the vlog is about figuring out what the vlog is about. Does that make sense?
So this is an interesting thing because the Van Neistat made a video a little while ago. It's probably been a year now that I'm thinking about it, but he said one of the major conflicts of being a video maker, a YouTuber or whatever, like the Jason Green, what's up, man? Says Vlogception, for real. But one of the main conflicts in the creator's day-to-day, like if you're trying to tell a story about your life, one of the major conflicts is, what am I going to make? And obviously you can't make that video every day. I mean, I guess you probably could, but your major conflict is, what am I going to make? And that is a thing of, like, I totally relate to that because I have that conflict in my brain every single day. Like, what is my next video? What is my next video going to be? It's always a conflict that I'm facing. So I could make that video every single day and I could always have a different outcome because obviously what the videos, but it would get old, right? You can't make a, what is this video about video every single day. It just can't happen. Unless, again, I don't know, maybe there's somebody out there that will do it in a way that is entertaining and really good and, prove me completely wrong. But it's just one of those things that's interesting because, like, our job is to figure out a story to tell every time we upload a video. And, in a story you need the conflict. But most of the time, the only conflict we ever face is, hello, what the heck am I going to make this week? That's the main conflict anyway. So That's just one of those funny things that I totally resonate with. Is like, what am I gonna make? It's always a thing. You always have that in your brain. So that's always a conflict. It's always a valid story. It's always a relatable story to at least you. But then can't always do that video, right? Basketball time. I always love to sneak some basketball into the vlogs when I can because I enjoy it, right? I enjoy it. And plus, it actually was relevant to this video.
So one of the things that I find helpful when I'm trying to figure out what to vlog about, I know it sounds cliche and it's easier said than done, but just start. Just start shooting.
Bucket! Woo! Look at that. That was funny because that was actually first take. It took me a second to get that first shot. Like I make that first. My goal was to make the shot, get the rebound, and then turn around and talk to camera. And then after I was done with that sentence, I was gonna turn around and make another shot. But it took me a while to make the first one. I probably would have just kept it. I probably would have just kept it had I missed the second one. But I made the first one, started talking, turned around, shot, made the second one, first try. But had I missed the second one, I probably would have just kept it because it would have been annoying to have to redo it. And plus, the first take is generally always the best as far as delivering to camera vocally.
And once you start shooting and sort of begin to build up a rhythm, at that point you will sort of get into a creative flow, and then the whole rest of the process is going to come that much easier.
Different angle, change it up. Speedy. This is another shot this video was one of experimenting. I think I didn't a lot of these shots I haven't used before. This one is one of them. And this one is another one. Another one. Like I was saying earlier in the commentary, how I wanted to implement more, not only, it's like, you know, the last couple are walking away from camera. See this one? I'm walking away. Now I'm walking towards.
See, one of the things I do all the time is whenever I'm struggling to come up with any ideas, I'll just start shooting. I'll get some B-roll, I'll try and line up some creative shots, and then before you know it, the creative juices start flowing. And when that happens, it makes the whole ideating process, for me, that much easier.
Okay, I want to talk on that one for a little bit, because I mentioned how, in order, because this is I'm relating this video to my real experience as I'm going through this process. So the beginning of the video, I mentioned that the beginning of the video was like a montage. It was like a minute long, right? It was so long. I just was getting B-roll, just shooting stuff, and I used that because I was like, man, you know, when I was making it, I'm like, man, this is really just long-winded intro. I felt like it was really long, but in following through with the edit and kind of getting the story put together, I realized that long intro contributes to the story, because what it does is it shows you a real life example of what I'm talking about. Because I'm talking about, if you don't know what to shoot or whatever, if you don't know what to shoot, just start shooting, shoot some stuff, and then eventually you'll get going, right? And so with that in mind, by having that longer beginning plays the role of, this is what you got to do to start this process. So at the beginning of this process, meaning the video, I just shot a whole bunch and I put it in, just because I wasn't sure, what it was all about. And so that lends itself to the narrative of just start shooting, something will come of it, guaranteed.
So the other day in the Discord community,
we
were all discussing,
shout out! Woo! Join the Discord, gang.
Our creative process, like how we sort of start the video making process. How does everyone individually do it? And first of all, it was really great being able to see everyone's unique process and how similar yet different they all were. And I would say one of the main differences is planning versus winging it. There were some of us that would plan a whole bunch and script and do shot lists and things like that. And then there was others of us that just kind of started and let their creativity take them wherever it would take them. And there were some, like myself,
the old pop up from underneath the tripod with a whoosh sound effect shot. Love that. Let's do it again.
Let their creativity take them wherever it would take them. And there were some, like
that.
myself and several others that do both. Because sometimes I'll have an idea before I even start recording, and so I will do more of a prepared approach where I'll write, I will ideate, I will kind of have an idea of what's going to happen and what the story is going to be and all of these things. And then there's times like today where I just have to start shooting and then let the story unfold from there. It's hard to prepare sometimes. So this is going to be one of those where I just wing it and see what happens.
Boom. No, I want to talk a little bit too about what we were talking about in the Discord. So Evan had posed a question a few days ago. As far as his question was, what is sort of your creative process? How do you get started? That kind of stuff. And it lent itself perfectly to this video, and actually Evan's video too. It's funny because we recorded them on different days, and you know, it was mine. I shot mine on Wednesday and edited it on Wednesday. I think he shot his like Friday, Saturday, or something like that. But neither of us knew what the other was making a video about, and it turned out that our videos were like really, really similar in subject matter. So it was pretty cool. It actually worked out. Give our Discord server some excellent value. From like a similar value, but from two different perspectives. But one of the things I wanted to mention was, like I said, you know, he asked the question. He was like, "What is your guys' creative process? Do you do more scripting? Do you do more on the fly? Like, what do you do to kind of get a video going?" And that question, you know, obviously garnered a lot of response. Everybody was talking about it and whatnot. And it inspired me to kind of put that sort of thing in this video where there's multiple ways to go about it. You don't have to have it all scripted out. You don't have to do whatever. You don't have to just wing it. You know, you can kind of do both, whatever. And so I just wanted to say that, like, that question helped get this video sort of off the ground, because that was one of the things I used as some subject. I lost my train of thought just for a second. But yeah. No, but I think part of why that was important to this video was usually my videos are sort of more planned out as far as what I'm going to talk about. But this one was, again, sort of on the fly. But one of the points was that doing it on the fly works when you don't necessarily have an idea or like have something you really, really want to talk about. Just start creating and you'll get there, right? The creative juices will flow and you will come to find out what you're wanting to make the video about. Also, this shot right here.
And see what happens.
Hold on. This shot, I miscalculated where I was. So, like, I was trying to get a shot of me walking down the hill into the woods. But if you can look over here on this left side, you can barely see me walking through. Because I thought I was going to be, you know, in to the right of this thick tree. But I was actually to the left of it. And it kind of got messed up. I kept the shot anyway because it looked cool. But if you ever noticed it, you know, that's a dub for you. Because that's paying attention. Good job. Big old thorny boys. Look at them. Got some woods. Setting the scene. Establishing shot. Super wide. And there's context. How big it all is compared to me. I'm like, hello, little guy in the middle.
See, what I'm doing today is more of the winging it process, where I just start and let the ideas and let the creativity flow naturally and sort of construct the story as I shoot and in the edit. It's really nice out here, actually. It's kind of chilly, but it's not bad at all. What's really annoying, look at this. Look at how nice and open.
Bruh.
And then,
yeah, I was trying to shoot the thumbnail, and I was having trouble because the shadow was kind of weird. So, like, everywhere around me was light, and then the very center where I was standing was really dark, so it was kind of annoying. Also, oh, heck, what was I going to say? I lost it again, dude.
I just start, construct the story at
Oh, yeah.
Look at.
Oh, yeah, so I was talking about building the story in the edit. That's something that I've learned a lot in the last, I don't know, maybe 6-8 months or something, where, you know, you don't have to necessarily have it all mapped out beforehand, because a lot of where the story is told is in the edit. How you put everything together post-production. The order in which you put your clips, how you present them, how you align them, things like that. The edit is where a lot of the story is told, and that's something I'm picking up on and being able to utilize Because sometimes I'll shoot a couple of things, and I'm like, you know what? These actually would make more sense to how the story ended up. They would make more sense had I flipped these shots. So if it's a couple of talking shots or voiceovers or whatever, I'll just flip them in order to where I say something before I say something else. And then the whole story itself, continuity-wise, makes a little bit more sense because of the order in which I say stuff, which it has a lot more to do with it than one might think.
How nice and open, and then there's this big nasty shadow. Ugh.
Getting out the woods. Dude, yeah, the one place I picked to get out, there was just nothing but thorns, just the whole way through. I'm like, bruh, it was ridiculous. Walking towards camera, bang.
When you don't know what to shoot, just shoot something. That sounds kind of random and kind of stupid, but hear me out.
Sound design, bang.
The thing is, and in my personal experience, if you're having trouble figuring out what you want to shoot, just literally shoot anything at all, because what'll happen is, as you get going, and you start just thinking in terms of shooting something, once you get going, your creative juices start to go, and then eventually you just have to lean in and trust your creative instincts, because once you do that, before you know it, you'll have a video.
Boom. This was a fun shot too. You can't see it, which it kind of worked out, but I had my window open and I had the camera. I literally had the ZV-1. I was holding it out just like this. I was just driving down the driveway. Had my camera hanging out the window. Kind of nerve-wracking, but not really, because I had a good grip on it. But got this really cool-looking car shot that you don't see, at least as far as I know. At least, especially on my channel, you don't really see this shot. I haven't really gotten it. So maybe that's one that I'll do more. Who knows? Well, I thought it was pretty cool. I had the window open because it was beautiful outside. And I was able to get some really clear shots, too, because sometimes my windshield and my windows, they do be kind of dirty. So being able to have the window down and getting shots is really nice because you can really get the clean, crisp visuals. And see, again, with the weather thing, clear. It cleared up, all the frost and stuff's melted, so now it's clear and nice and whatever.
The best part of all of that is when you wing it and you just kind of go with the flow and trust your creative instinct. The best part is when you put it all together and...
This is another thing that's really funny. I was talking about how Evan and I had a very similar video that came out today. We both also had this shot of our editing software in the video. Like that, you can't make it up because both videos were fully made before either of us had seen the other's video. So it was crazy how it just ended up not only being a similar subject matter, but being, you have this same shot in there. It's crazy how it worked out.
Something really, really good actually comes out of it. Something even better than you'd expected.
Boom. Thank you, patrons. Y'all are legends. Thank you for supporting the channel. Just me. Hey, gang, we're back. All right. Thank you all for being here. Really appreciate you. Send you some $100 bills. Super duper. Let me see here. I'm gonna try something real quick. Pop out chat. Oh, 10 memberships left to gift this month. We're almost to the end, so I'm not going to do it just yet. I'm going to wait till later in the month. We're going to do one. That's so fun. Alright, but anyway, gang. Wait a minute. Never mind. Yep. Cool. Anyway. That's going to do it, gang. We got two director's commentaries in one. It's been just over an hour. Nothing crazy. Hour and 9 minutes. A little bit shorter than I would have liked it to be, but hey, it is all what it is. Ain't no need to stuff it full of junk. Thank you for being here. I know it was kind of, I didn't really like talk about this one really. I didn't really say anything about what was going to happen, but either way. I've also just got back off of a 4-hour drive, so I'm kind of like all over the place. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. Those of you that stopped by, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed getting a little bit of behind the scenes action. Gonna try and get these done at least every week. Like I said, on the weeks that I can't, I'll do a double the following week. So it'll be fun. It'll be cool. So once again, thank you guys so much for being here. Really appreciate you spending your time with me today. And I'll see you all again next time.